Welcome back to the most unprofessional YouTube they got. 'Cause how many other YouTube lives do you see with people shoving food in their face? Just trying to be real with y'all, man. I'm just walking in the door from work. I'm hungry. Went to the gym after work today, and I think between my heart, my lungs, and my legs, they were having a competition of who was going to die first. First time I've been in the gym since probably April, or maybe even before April, for my stomach surgery and all that. And let me tell you, I am not 23 years old anymore. So here's what it is. What's happening, everybody? So you posted in my Helium channel. That's rare, because normally the only thing that gets posted in my Helium channel are updates from Helium. We might have some updates tonight. Some inside scoop. An anonymous Discorder might have left in my inbox about Wingbits and some other stuff. Had a meeting in Baton Rouge. So for those who don't know, that's about an hour, 20 minutes from my office. Trying to help hospitals set up some RF communications during hurricanes, some backup stuff. And somehow I got voluntold, I guess my reputation. I guess it's a good thing, but it's just as if I need more work to do. Now I got to go to hospitals and try to set up communications for them during hurricanes when their main systems are down and they need help. What I learned is that you can't evacuate everybody at a hospital. Common sense would be like, oh, a hurricane's coming. Let me evacuate the hospital. Problem is, if somebody's got COVID or one of these other killer diseases, you can't bring them to another facility. So they take the chance of leaving them there with a skeleton crew. Then what happens is something bad happens at the hospital. You lose power, the generator fails. And then now you got to do emergency communications because the cell phones don't work. Internet doesn't work. And then you're trying to use backup communications, cans with string, to get people out. It opened my eyes for a couple of things. So, yeah, man, there's been a lot going on. So my point was I was watching videos the whole way there and back, and it's so crazy to watch the different YouTubers right now. You don't know what the hell's going on. You watch one channel and this is full-blown alt season, and you better take your profits now. You got other ones saying, look at this chart. This shows we haven't even started it. And then I'm watching one of them that's saying, you better take whatever profit you can now because it's going to tube. I don't know. We don't know. I don't know if that might need to be my poll. Take profits on Crow already went back down. It's just as bad as Demo. I'm telling you, I'm hard-headed. I am determined to see Crow go back to $1. If Crow can go back to $1, I'm paying off either my daughter's car or my son's truck. And I think it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story on how, if that happens, how crypto should work. I invested to get that Crow card, the crypto.com card. For those who don't know, in my Discord, I made a post today and also on my X showing that, I don't know when that Crow card came out. Everything's a blur to me. 2020, 2021, 2022. Had to be 2022-ish because I used Helium profits to get the dark blue card. You needed $4,000 worth of Crow. Of course, I wasn't buying that. So I took Helium, transferred it into Crow, staked that. I got 4,800 tokens. Today, I am up to 32,000 tokens. And my goal is to see it go back to all-time high. If it goes back to all-time high, I'm at 32 grand off of $4,800 worth of Helium, which I had already making my profit off Helium. It's a good story, I wish they all would turn out like that. Let's see. Right now it says I have 31,339.395 worth 11 grand. So I am, this is actually better than looking at porn. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a crazy day, as y'all can tell. We had 34 cents. It was at 40 cents. I told y'all back in April when I was talking about Whiff and these other ones, Crow was the one to look at. It was at 5, 6, 7 cents. I know people don't want to listen to me, but the only thing is, so I have 23,447 available to me right now. My card holder, because somebody asked about the card, still has the original staked plus more. For some reason, I staked 7,900. So, because in the beginning you could stake additional to get additional percentages, but they don't stake like they used to do. Before you would stake for 90 days and get additional. I'm not staking right now. I think the staking now for Crow is you can you stake it and just whenever you pull it out maybe. They changed it, and I have not really messed with it since they changed it. Man, this app's got all kinds of stuff. Sports event trading, predict New Orleans Saints to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'll take the under, and I'll short that. I'll short that one. But I'm doing good with Crow. Now, the only two things on this is, I think it's hilarious. The only two things I have that I keep on this app are Crow and Peak. And Peak is still struggling. 7 cents. Got 4,000 Peak right now. Come on, Peak. I think the problem with Peak is there's no really good project fully operational right now. Excuse me. So, hey, Elias, what's happening? Stephen Armstrong, I have a video. I'm going to have to show it. I'll see if I can find it. If you want to DM me on Discord to remind me, because I will forget by the time this live's over with. I have a video that I was so impressed with that airport lounge thing. I made a video about it just to show off and tell everybody what you're missing. You walk in, when I came back from Tennessee, a conference, my flight got delayed by an hour. I went in, I think that's what happened. I went in, because most of my flights I do for work, I try to, even if I have to leave at 6 in the morning, I try to do direct. I don't want layovers. I try to do direct. The lounge, you walk in the lounge, it's unlimited food and unlimited drinks. I'm talking about drinky drinks. Crown and Diet Coke, bourbon, or old fashions. They took care of you. And I ain't gonna say they had steak there, but they had a lot of chips and dips and finger foods and fried chicken strips and stuff for your kids and dessert bar and soups and all kinds of stuff like that. And it was unlimited. You basically, and then some lounges allowed to bring a guest. So I had a guest with me from work and I got to bring him with me and he got the same thing. Once you get in the front door, everything inside is great. I'm gonna tell you that was pretty slick. Now, the problem I had on my trip that I just took to Baltimore is Baltimore's got 3 or 4 different wings or whatever you want to call them, gates. And these 3 gates were tied together where you can walk in between the gates, and then there was one gate by itself. And that's what a lounge was. And you would have had to, once I realized it, you would have had to go out of the security, go into that gate, go through their security, which I have that easy pass or whatever it is. So it's not as bad, but I find more and more people are getting the easy pass. See, this is what happens when I tell stories. I'm like way off the interstate somewhere running through the grass and the weeds right now. But you would have had to have gone into that one. And by the time I had 20, 30 minutes left or 40 minutes before my flight, I'm like, it ain't worth all that. But some airports, the lounge is very worth it. Crow has a 1-year lock with 20% right now. Oh, that's tempting. But the bear market, I mean, alt season might be over with by then. Let me take a piece of pizza before I. Good thing I went to the gym today, huh? Don't tell her I said this, but this is what happens when you have a wife that don't cook. Can't boil water. Either you bring home food or you starve. They only eat cereal so many times a night. So what else is going on? B13 says, damn, those demo rewards on Monday were sweet. They sure were. I can't say nothing negative. Y'all know I'm fair. That's another one that, that's another one that Bob should be telling everybody to take profits on. Demo was looking very sweet. I still want somebody to explain it to me. Actually, what I can do, I can turn my camera off and shove some more pizza in my mouth while y'all not looking. So, Demo has come back to earth. Yeah, it's still up. It's still up 33% for the week. I'll give him that credit. But like a lot of y'all said, I'm in the same boat. Majority of our tokens are locked away. But I am curious to see by next Monday, what are the rewards going to look like? What are the, I still think this was, look, I might be conspiracy theory. I keep saying I need to have where I keep in my, my office right here. I need to keep aluminum. I have a buddy at work who has the aluminum foil hat with the little thing in the middle that hangs on his wall. So when people start coming to him about BS, he can literally take his hat and put it on him. I need to do that. So here's my conspiracy hat. I still believe Demo took money from somewhere and put it into this token as a way of going, nah, ha, ha. You see all the people who didn't want to renew your subscriptions or didn't get subscriptions? Look at the rewards you missed out on. That's what I truly believe. To lure people to pay for subscriptions. Because the biggest knock against subscriptions was I'm paying more for subscription per month than I'm getting in rewards per month. Well, now when the token goes up to 12 cents, you can't say that. And now it's coming back to earth. It would be funny to know. I would love to find out. You know what? Helium needs to tell you this. From this point right here at 4 cents to this point right here at 12 cents. I want to know is right here, how many devices fell off? How many people said, screw it, I'm not going to renew my subscription and y'all can kiss my butt? How many people right here at this point said that? How many stations fell off? And then by the time it got up to here, I want to know is how many people said, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean what I said. I had a bad drink. And that wasn't me that said that. I really want, please welcome me back, Demo, with open arms. And how many people resubscribed after this point? And kind of like the person who makes up with the ex-wife that you divorced and then you got remarried again to the same woman and now you're getting divorced again and you have that kind of regret. I wonder how many people got from this point to this point got subscriptions. And then now at this point, God dang it, I got screwed again. I fell for it again. God dang it. I'm curious. That's me and my conspiracy. I know some of y'all don't believe that. Some of y'all believe, oh, you know, they don't have to pay for cellular. They're still paying for cellular. So some of these devices still had subscriptions on them that the people didn't have to pay for this. They're still paying for cellular. See, Jay Styles fell for it. He went back to the ex-girlfriend. Jay Styles says we need to trace the wallets. Y'all take a chance to welcome Jay Styles to he was voluntold to be the new moderator on the Grumpy Dad Discord. Crack the whip, bring the taser out, and, you know, whip some people into shape. But he is the newest moderator for the Grumpy Dad Discord. Thank you very much, Jay Styles, because, guys, I have a life other than Discord because I work and play Call of Duty at night. So I can't always, but honestly, I do have Call of Duty here on the main computer screen. On the right screen, I always got Chrome up because I have ADD so bad that in between matches, I have to go and surf something. And then on the left, I normally do have Discord up. But that day, I was actually reading either Demo. For some reason, I want to say Chirp, but I was following another channel and didn't see the nonsense going on. And I hate to be in the Grumpy Dad Discord. I hate to be completely zero politics because let's be honest, despite how you feel about the man, I'm not his biggest fan. I don't hate him. You know, I say, whenever I talk about politics, I can say I hate Trump and I lose 100 subscribers. I can say I love Trump, I lose 100 subscribers. And I'm not saying that at all. But you have to go look back at the charts and see that November when the man got elected, it did give a boost to crypto, period. Some people say it came down after, it came back up after, whatever. So there's times I would like to be able to mention what's happening in the government and what's happening in crypto as a correlation, and it not be politically driven. You know, Biden was doing certain things and we were able to talk about the screwed up stuff the SEC was doing and stuff like that, and then not become a Biden bashing thing. But so you do have to be able to somewhat civilly discuss politics. And I don't know how me and the mods are going to, D. Vaselino, Eric, and Jay Styles. I don't know how we're going to balance that out, but there are stupid decisions the government makes that will either help or hurt crypto. And not just here. In Canada, they've made some stupid crypto decisions in the past. Europe, China. And sometimes we're going to have to talk about that, but we're going to have to try to somehow keep it civilly. It's going to have to be a fine line that when it becomes to bashing that certain government, all right, now you got to stop. And I just don't know how we're going to do that. You know, people don't talk politics. They always joke, you know, when I used to work the road on patrol at the sheriff's office, like one of our busiest days was Thanksgiving, because you have families that don't get together for 364 days for a reason. And then in Thanksgiving, plus when some people have a little alcohol at Thanksgiving with their turkey and dressing, they quickly remember why they don't get together all year. You think people would fall asleep after eating turkey and watching the Detroit Lions lose or something like that, or Chicago Bears. But, you know, and that's one thing is they always say, don't talk politics at the dinner table. It's hard to keep it civil. I don't know how we're going to do that. Well, Elias, you can say that because A, you don't live in America, and B, this ain't Discord. There's two guys that I have a lot of respect for, and I'm not saying that because one of them just popped up. I wanted to get this across, and it's just timing. He's here. Two guys I have a lot of respect for. Two guys that we've had some great conversations with. Both of them I feel are very experienced in crypto. That both left the Discord. They weren't booted. They left their own. You know, I would hope that they come back and just keep it civil, no politics and stuff like that. They're welcome back. And it was sad to see them leave because, again, I have respect for both those guys. Been knowing them for some time now with other projects and stuff like that. So for those two guys, y'all are welcome back. Y'all left on your own. You're welcome to come back on your own. Just to make sure that we're all clear in the air on that. So going back to what we were originally talking about, I don't know what the hell's going to happen with this. I am very curious to see if this was just an anomaly, if this was just, hey, we're sorry, come back for a little while, you know, like the ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend says, I'm so sorry, please, it'll never happen again. It'll never happen again. You did it again. We'll see. Well, with Demo, y'all know, I had to go take my helium. I just lost one helium device on top of my buddy's 400-foot tower, which was my number one station. Then I had to go get another station from a host to send to my son in North Louisiana, so that I could keep his Demo and his truck going. I don't know if they still do streaks. If they did, I'm really screwed because for 1 week, because there's no helium devices up there online, I didn't get rewarded for him, which is the perfect timing, right? Because that's my luck. But I didn't get no rewards for him on Monday because for 1 week, he didn't drive. There's no helium devices around the college he's at. So I had to go and ship one of my helium devices up there, put it in his dorm, hope that somehow it works with the IT system or the IP, the internet that's up there. And so that his Demo, which I'm not going to make no money on it because that's the only thing connecting. One station. There's no other stations to witness it, so I'm not getting rewards from that. It's a stupid problem to have. But my point is, I'm still into helium. I'm still keeping my Demo stations going. But there's going to have to be a drastic increase for me to do subscriptions. If it's close to where it's at now, I'm not paying subscriptions. I don't know. And Jay Styles, you make a good point. And there are political decisions that hurt crypto, that help crypto, and you have to be able to somehow try to talk about that without it making personal. That You know, unless it's Nancy Pelosi, we can all talk about how much we hate her. So anyway, what else we got to talk about? I couldn't think of a poll because I already put up polls about alt season. Do we think alt season's coming? You know, I still like this chart. Bitcoin dominance. Red's where you had the alt seasons at before. But you know, I watched a video today, and y'all can tell me what y'all think. Normally we had alt season going, and something happened. There was some type of triggering event, whether it was a country bombing another country again, Joe Biden did something, FTX did something, the Luna crash, something normally always triggered the beginning of that bear cycle. At least according to the video. I didn't go research this myself. I'm just watching the video today from a very big YouTuber, not some crazy TikToker I found. It's the worst place for crypto advice. You know, if alt season starts and they're saying we only got 2 or 3 months, like Tyler, y'all know I love Tyler. I watch almost all Tyler's videos, but today's video, he says how, you know, alt season is one of the shortest seasons in the whole crypto cycle. It doesn't last long. When you look at the whole year or 2 or 3 years of the cycle, alt season really is short. But he also mentioned how every time the alt season was going on, you had one of these events that happened that screwed up that momentum. So if we don't have another FTX fiasco, if you don't have another country that bombs another country, what's going to cause the alt season to stop? That's what my thing is. I mean, I still say alt season is going to be October, November, December. Still calling that. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but I'm just telling you that's what I'm calling. You got some people saying we're in it and it's time to take, you know, you watch Alex Becker. Some of y'all might not like him, but he had a great video he released today. I think it was early. Well, I watched it today. I think it was today or yesterday. Talking about he's still seeing the whole thing happen where you had your Ethereum going up. You had, you know, this is Ethereum again. This is 1 week. But you look at your Ethereum and you're going to have your Ethereum and people are going to take profits and put it into large caps. And even though he hates Cardano, he's seeing Cardano being one of the better moving projects. But then he still sees it going into then your smaller caps and your micro caps and going into your AI tokens and then eventually into your meme tokens. He thinks for some reason Pudgy Penguins is going to be the real big deal, the real big meme token this year. I'm putting my faith into WIF. Y'all know that. But I know a lot of y'all in the Pudgy Penguins. I screwed that pooch on that one because I had Pudgy Penguin token or whatever it is, and I screwed the pooch on that one. April, I told y'all, same thing I was telling y'all about Crow, jumping to some WIF, not financial advice. That's what I was doing. But, you know, it was up to $1.30 at one point. It's come back down. This is just still crazy. Crow up 431%. Solana up 200%. I still see, if we have this alt season, I just still see a $600, $700, maybe $800, but I can still see Solana happening. I don't know. Not so much I don't. Jay Styles says he thinks alt season will just be condensed, in my opinion. Pudgy Penguins has merch though. He just said that he's not a meme coin fan at all, but like you said, the cycle's the cycle. And he just thinks that he just thinks that there's gonna be a Pudgy Penguins run at the end of the cycle, alt season. It's going to go back into your meme tokens, and that's going to be one out of a couple that's going to really run. I don't know. So what else? I don't know how I'm supposed to mention this or not, but I know this is going to be very vague, and y'all going to say, why even mention it then? But a certain distributor I have found, I've seen it with my own eyes, has been mentioning to some people about TGE when they think TGE is going to be for Wingbits. And it has been confirmed that that is completely incorrect. In fact, it was even mentioned it would be on a weekend, a certain weekend day, which, like one of my sources said, have you ever seen a TGE on a weekend? I would hope it's on the weekend. I can have my party like I keep telling y'all about, my dancing girls and drinking and get drunk and not have to worry about going to work in the morning. But saying that, look, I already got my pizza started on my pizza party. Reason I mention is because also on one of their Moken AMAs or whatever it is, they mentioned 2 different dates now for the Wingbits. TGE, I'm told both of those are incorrect. They still have not locked down a date yet because they're still tidying up some. They want to be at a certain point as far as their project. They still have things they have to finalize. That's strictly on the, I guess we call it the chain side of the work. Not even to do with the contracts with companies and business deals and stuff. Strictly on trying to find it so that I don't misspeak. I don't want to misspeak and get in trouble. Let's see if I can read this. It was even mentioned in the Discord. There's certain technical, there it is, that's the word. Certain technical things that Wingbits still has to complete. Nothing to do with high fix stations or anything like that. Just stuff that they want to get done. Security wise, some other things going on, but they want to have the technical things kind of done, live, tested, and ready for a TGE launch. They're still working on that. Listen, I want to be on mainnet more than any of y'all. I can guarantee it. But I want them to be ready for it too. They have to make sure they have deals lined up, announcements lined up. But yes, I had somebody else tell me, somebody not related to Wingbits, whatever like that. I had a Discord DM from somebody who basically said, dude, on the Moken X space, they mentioned some dates, and I'm told that that's completely incorrect. So just so y'all know, alt season will be drawn by whatever. There's no alt season. The cake is a lie. There you go. But just so y'all know, just in case any of y'all were on a Moken X, because I know how Discord is, I know how X is, I know how this is worse than women at a barbershop. If enough people heard that on the X space, or Moken's telling people, or Helium Deploy's telling people that, it's going to get around. Don't listen to any dates. There's no date set. That's basically all you need to know. There are no dates yet. I'm telling people that are asking me, because I'm telling you, I get asked this probably in Discords or on DMs. I'm telling you, more than once a week, but not every day. How about that? I'll be honest with y'all. And I tell them, trust us. They're going to tell us when it's going to happen. It's going to be an announcement. It's going to be in their general page. And that's why I always joke that I wanted to pass a HIP, or whatever you want to call it, improvement protocol that says every time somebody asks when TGE, there needs to be minus 100 wings, and give that to the poor and homeless. Because why do you have to go in and ask, as if they wouldn't make a huge deal that, hey, okay, guys, here's all, I don't know if they're going to do that during an AMA, or if they're just going to come out with an announcement. They'll probably figure it out when they figure out when the TGE date is. So D. Vasilino and Elias are completely correct. listen, I'm sure Wingbits wants to go TGE as just as much as we do, because when you're trying to attract new customers, when you have a working product that's on mainnet and everything's working the way it's supposed to be, that would probably help attract new customers. Instead of going to a potential customers and saying, trust us, bro, we're going to have this stuff working, versus showing them a working product, I'm sure that would help them out also. So they probably want to go to mainnet as much as we want them to go to mainnet. One thing I was allowed as a grumpy dad exclusive. Y'all know y'all can come here for exclusives sometimes. I'm told it was exclusive for tonight. One thing they have to have before TGE is a rewards breakdown and also a claiming history ledger type thing, which is still being worked on. Transparency is important, and all participants should be able to view and download all their rewards and claiming details. So that's one thing that they are also working on also. You know, I guess I have trust in them. I'm not looking at again, I've been in Wingbits since there was only 2 or 3 stations in the United States. I'm not going back and look at 2.5 years worth of rewards. I'm just going to trust them. But some of y'all might want to know, you know, but during testnet, you had times where some things might have been down, or your device might have been getting updated, or, you know, you had a DIY device for a little while and now you got a WB200 device. You know, my number 1 station on top of my buddy's 400-foot tower. I don't know when it happened. If y'all watch my live on, I think it was either Tuesday or last Thursday, I tried to show y'all my tower or my buddy's tower, my station on my buddy's tower. And even though it said it was online, you couldn't see any planes and the rewards. So I have a AirSpy Mini, the $100 AirSpy Mini, which has helped. But I also had the No Elect LNA, this is actually a LANA, that took a dump. It will not power up. IST, straight power with a USB. It doesn't matter. I lost the LANA on it. So now I have no amp. So I'm getting some rewards, but my point is it's always something. It ain't just the WB200s that are having LNA problems. This is a DIY station with an LNA. I've told y'all before, I started with all green SDRs. I think out of my 14 DIY stations, half of them bit the bullet. They worked great when they're great. They were the best LNA other than the AirSpy Mini. The greatest LNA that they had, SDR, until they weren't. But right now, my WB200, even though it's in the serial number range of stuff, it might have an issue, so far has been smooth as silk. So, thank you to Artex 440 for donating a helium monitor to the Grumpy Poor Dad Fund. I really appreciate it. It'll help me get my helium station back on my. What they want for these stations on eBay? Stupid. But apparently people are buying them. That's all I can think. Maybe for the pie though. Who fought it? I think you have a very, very, very good chance that you're gonna get taken care of. I don't know the timing on it because I have not fell in that range, you know, that problem. So I can't speak on that. I don't know how long that's taking, but I can assure you that if you've gone through the proper steps, you go through Wingbits first, you make the ticket, then you follow whatever steps they talked about it in the announcements, and then you're going through HiFix. I assure you, I'm pretty sure that you're not going to have to pay for anything to get swapped out. So, but HiFix is supposed to be replacing devices or LNAs or something. They spoke about it in the announcement. I don't want to really have to go dig it up if I don't have to, but that was an announcement that was made by, I think it was Robin or Axie, one of them talked about that. But I think you're going to get taken care of. Again, it doesn't matter if it's 0.001%. You know, one is too many, because if it was mine, I'd be hooping and hollering too. But it's still a small percentage of WB 200s and MGW 310s. One guy says today, an hour ago, on Wingbits, he just received his replacement MGW 310. So, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Actually, has been helping him out. Yeah, so you look at the announcements. The last announcements has a PDF that you can click on that tells you about the affected serial numbers, steps to take if your station has failed or still running, and replacement ESD adapters. That's what I'm gonna have to do for mine. Because like I said, mine does fall in that serial range. We'll see. Welcome, ATG. There are 19,604 Geo devices global. Does not seem like a lot. Helium devices had over 1 million. Yeah, but the problem is that's what killed it. Helium license, helium just allowing free willy-nilly. Everybody can go put stations. I'll never forget, when I got my station, I don't know if y'all heard the story, but stop me if you've heard it. But I made $5,000 the first 17 days on my helium device, the ROI on it. Just mess with y'all. But I was one of like 5 stations in New Orleans. Next thing you know, they got 5 in my hex. There should have been, and look, they were new. It was a new concept. I know, they want to make sure they have some kind of redundancy in case stations go down, but there still should have been some type of limit on the amount of stations going on in the hex. But the problem is you had people who just thought, and they didn't know better, or there wasn't really discussed, hey, you can't go plug this thing in your mama's basement. It really needs to be outside. And I remember having these crazy discussions with people in the beginning. I'm like, hey, you can take that antenna off the back, put an external antenna. Because when I did that, it blew people's minds in some of the helium groups, because they weren't doing it at that point. They were just keeping the whole device together with antenna sticking out the back by the window, and you were telling them, take it away from the window and put it by the wall if it's all wood. And that just blew people's mind. And people were just getting these ugly arguments with me because they didn't understand RF. And you had to explain to them that windows have this aluminum, and people think aluminum like aluminum cans, but it's not. It's a different type of aluminum or something like that. I don't understand window chemistry. But because of blocking UV rays and tint and stuff like that, get the dang thing away from the window, put it next to a wall, and watch your witnesses go up because the window's blocking it. And I remember having all these discussions about that with helium. Helium should have limited the amount of stations. And when they went to 900,000, rewards went through the ground. What I don't understand is they've lost 600,000 stations since then. Why haven't our rewards gone up? That's the part that I need somebody to explain. Yes, they've had halvings, but even with the halvings, you're still very minimal. Getting 0.2 H&T a day when I'm witnessing 25 stations. That's crazy. What else you want to talk about? Yes, Elias. 5,000. My first helium station was when helium first started in 2020-ish. And my buddy told me about it. And I'm like, look, I'm into RF. He knew I was into RF. He knew I was into crypto. He heard about it, got with me. I'm like, oh, crypto and RF on the same thing? Yeah, I'm into that. And then he said, well, you can't buy them on. You got to get them on eBay. We looked on eBay. I did a video on it. You had some for 10 grand, 5 grand. I'm like, are you crazy? But then you looked at what the guy in Baton Rouge had over $1 million worth of helium in his wallet already. Helium was only worth $2 or $3, but you were making 25 to 30 helium per day. So me and 2 buddies got together, all the 3 of us, and we split 5 grand. And by the time it came in and we set it up, we ROI'd in 17 days. I know ROI is not a verb, but we ROI'd in 17 days. Where we screwed up is we went bought 30 more stations with our profits. But don't be wrong. Like I took some and put it into Crow. I bought some Atom back then. I bought some Cardano with it. I bought some Ethereum, or I bought my Ethereum miner with GPUs and stuff like that. I think that's what I did. But my family had to evacuate for Hurricane Ida for a week to a hotel in Texas. We didn't have that kind of money. My wife's a teacher. I'm in public safety. We don't have that kind of emergency fund just to keep your kids fed and in a hotel. Think about it. Think if y'all had to leave tomorrow for a week in a hotel. And if y'all knew my wife, she ain't staying at Motel 6. Even if she stays at a better hotel, she wears flip-flops, cheap flip-flops in the shower. That's how she is. She don't even want to go to hunting camp with me. But helium saved me and my family. That's why I will always be somewhat partial to helium, because if it wasn't for helium at that time, I don't know what my family would have did during that hurricane. So I'll still keep it going for the helium. But yeah, but eventually that token went from $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 to $20, $30, $40. I still have a good chunk of helium left. It ain't a lot, but I still got a good chunk of helium. And I'm still making, but what I've been doing for the last year, for about the last 8, 9, 10 months up until recently, I was exchanging that for Solana. Or if I needed to move a station, I would just take it out of that helium bucket. You know, it's because you're not, even with 17 stations I got now, you're not making, I think you're making like $3 or $4 a day with 17 stations. Helium's helium is what I tell people is, just because a project can be successful doesn't mean it's successful on the mining aspect, and vice versa. Because helium is successful, despite what people want to sit here and talk about it. It is successful. Other than if you go into North Louisiana with a IoT device, but for the most part, it's successful. And I mean, you look at what they're doing with cellular, even though most of it is now just piggybacking off T-Mobile, but there's still so much. The fact that it's still in business for 5 years, but the mining aspect, you know, I tried. Me and Fluffy were, and I know some of y'all were in it. We were in that. I was in 2 different helium Facebooks telling people, do not fall for this 5G thing. Do not fall for this 5G. But everybody knew what kind of money we made in the IoT side. So they assumed that when the 5G stuff came out, then Dish Network came out with some kind of announcement. People went all in on 5G and how that turned out. But, you know, I'm the one in the airport making $333 a day. No. The network demand hasn't caught up, and AT&T's price fell. It fell. And it seems like as soon as we're recovering, it falls again. But if ChatGPT says it, and she don't cook. I asked my wife if she wanted to go to the mining conference in November with me. And she said, is it in Vegas? I said, no, it's not in Vegas. It's in Dallas. Nah, you be careful. She keeps asking me to go to Vegas. I'm supposed to be going in October. I don't know if I'm going to go or not. Yeah, that's just a lot of time to take off between hunting, the mining conference, and my side business. That's this one. Our conference, this training. We have a 3-day training in Vegas in October. That's just a lot of it's a lot of travel, a lot of time missing work. So I don't know. Oh, gamers killed the network. 619, you say that, but yet they kept saying that when they did that HIP, what was about 6 months ago, that they were going to cut off everybody in China, that was supposed to eliminate all kinds of stuff, and we'll get all these rewards, you know, and stuff like that. Barely made a difference. But let me tell you, when I first started, if any of y'all from America have heard of Angola State Prison, that's the state prison in Louisiana that has the rodeo and stuff, that the prisoners can do the rodeo and stuff. They can sign up and volunteer. They into that. Like, they look forward to that every year. They have a rodeo and the families go out there and they ride the bulls and do stuff like that. Prisoners. But anyway, they had in like the shape of a star or something, helium. They also have fields where they grow their own gardens and stuff like they do it. Not like a mean thing. Like, these guys take pride in it, and they're growing gardens and contests and stuff like that. They're in there for life. What else they got to do? And you had these stars of hexes or helium stations in their fields and stuff. You know, there was no like helium. How did you not know? But back then, helium didn't even do anything about gaming stations. It wasn't until the whole ban list came out, and then people were making a ban list that weren't gaming, and they couldn't come off. But D. Vazzolino, come on, man, waiting on you. I talked to a fellow YouTuber today, trying to make plans. trying to line up my tickets, you know, because if I don't have to pay $700 or $800, $900, whatever it is for a ticket, call me a cheapskate. I'll talk about somebody's product on a video, do a video for somebody's product for a $700 ticket. Y'all can call me a prostitute all y'all want. I call it smart business. If I can save $700 by talking about somebody's ASIC miner, just don't leave no bad comments. I'll do it. Look at this new ASIC miner that also doubles as a foot warmer and electricity sucker. Thank you for my free ticket. I'm not stupid. Oh, True Crime says, I got tickets for BTC Vegas. When is BTC? Like, this is my deal. And I've told this to a couple of YouTubers I talked to. I think I need to make my own website. Not that I have any time, but you know, I only sleep 4 hours a day. So why not just knock it down to 3? I want a central place to go look for crypto conferences. Because if you Google crypto conferences, you have all these different, you have conferences in these little towns where it's just 10 people getting together to talk about crypto. So, but I need to know where to go find information on these crypto conferences. I don't even know how I found the one in Dallas. And that was more of a Bitcoin mining one, which I don't even do anymore, but I'm gonna go because I want to get involved. I want to network. I want to start going to these conferences and learning more stuff. Whether it's ASIC miners, which, you know, I had ASIC miners for years. I got stacked up in the garage. I don't even know what the hell I'm keeping them for, but I just want to learn more. To me, it's networking and learning more. You know, that, and, you know, if Miss Teen Crypto's there or whatever her name is, she ain't a teen no more. That was funny. If y'all saw that X post from Tech Hustler. What's her name? I can't remember her name. It shows you how much I know. But oh, Randy, that's her name. That's just a funny inside joke. She's like 20 something now, but she's still Miss Teen Crypto. I guess that's how you identify. I can identify the 23-year-old crypto guy until I get up from this chair from sitting here for 2 hours and my knees are barking at me. Tech Hustler, listen, I've been chit-chatting with him. He was on, he showed up at the live on Tuesday night, and I was floored that that dude would take 2 minutes of his time to come on my live. I thought it was awesome. It was a cool deal. If y'all saw how happy I got, it is. I watched his video finally of DEPIN is dead. Listen, if y'all go and watch that video with an open mind, y'all are going to agree with 99% of the stuff he said. Coming up with a DEPIN project just for the hell of coming up with a DEPIN project doesn't mean it's going to be successful. Doesn't mean you're going to make anything. And like you said, you have to be in the, and look, we've even talked about it. And basically what the video says is, if you're getting into DEPIN projects, you better be in it for the tech. And he mentioned there's 3 or 4 that he's into right now that he really likes still. So DEPIN, I guess to him, not 100% dead. It's 95% dead. But he mentioned GeoNet, Wingbits, WeatherXM. And there was like 1 or 2 other ones I wasn't really familiar with. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna tell y'all, maybe I need to put that up as a poll. I read 619's post. I'm completely but if you watch this video, I have to say, oh, that's what I was gonna say is, maybe I need to put the pull up. Every time I really think, if y'all know that my Monday videos, I have these, you know, I do that video where it's like passive income, and this is what I'm making a month, and I rank everything on, you know, how I feel and different things like that. Let me see if I can switch it. And I keep talking about, if this keeps dying the way it's dying, does this need to be moved down here? Let me does WeatherXM need to be moved down here? And maybe demo move back up here. But anyway, Weather XM, does it need to be? And I keep thinking that, but there's a lot of people who are still rah-rah cheerleading. And I'm not talking about just the couple of followers in Weather XM. I'm talking about full-fledged YouTube guys that know more than me. That they still think Weather XM has a chance to really do something. And now I know that you have the other weather station that's coming online soon from Healy. What's it called? I don't know. I can't think. It's been a long day. I don't know. I thought Weather XM was like on life support, but listen to some people, it ain't. I don't, y'all tell me what y'all think. I mean, I have 2 Weather XM stations going. I got one for me, and I'm hosting one for Jorge. And I just I thought Weather XM was still do good. Jay Styles, I do wonder if he got punched in the head once or twice. He was really, really into that boxing, going every day. And look, I'm anybody, I'm a gym rat, even though I definitely don't look like it. I've always said, me being in the gym, I had a guy who used to professionally bodybuild that lived next door to me growing up as a teenager. He took me in the gym at probably 13 or 14 and started off. And I've been in the gym religiously ever since. Playing football, even when I was graduating high school, a little bit I went to college, and then college math failed me out. And even working full time, I think I did more wear and tear to my joints. You would think going to the gym for all that time would have you in better shape. No, I think the reason I can't get out of bed sometimes and my knees bark and I got shoulder problems and all this stuff is because I went to the gym that long. I never did boxing. I had a buddy who he's a black belt in MMA, Gracie Barra, MMA and jiu-jitsu stuff, who's begging me a couple of years back. He was begging me to come to his gym and do workouts and stuff like that. Like, dude, you're not bending and flexing me like that. I'll never walk out. But sometimes you get too many strikes to the head. Football players wear helmets. Jiu-jitsu doesn't. I don't know if maybe my boy Tech Hustler got hit in the head one too many times. I do find watching his videos, they're a little different than they were a year ago. We'll say that like that. He's still my boy. I'm still, and I told him I was being dead serious. I owe him drinks when we meet in Dallas because over a year ago now, time flies, I was struggling with this YouTube thing, how to gain more subscribers. What do I need to kind of put in? And that dude did not know me at all. And we DM'd each other through X at first. And then it was also Discord maybe for a little while. I don't know. And that dude helped me out. He didn't know me. He didn't have to help me at all. He could have looked at me as competition or something with DEPIN. That dude helped me out. And despite, I don't 100% agree with anybody in life. But so I might not agree with every one of his videos and stuff, but that dude helped me out. He didn't have to. He could have told me, screw you. Him and it was really one of those, like, the enemy of my enemy is my friends. We all got screwed over by D-Fly. It was him and who was the other dude? But because he might be going there too. DeFametti, that's who it was. DeFametti was also a mutual friend with us. DeFametti was the first one that came out with a full 100% video saying, I got scammed out of thousands by D-Fly. And I'm like, okay, I thought it was just me. My enemy is my friend. So, Crypto Book, you are correct. You can get some sense knocked into you, do. Is there a single DEPIN that also has a successful crypto token? Otherwise, I feel like most of DEPIN is just a way to crowdsource crypto degens. Hey, if you watched his video, he talked about how he was getting sick. I'm saying, if y'all give that video a chance, I think most of y'all would agree with what he's saying. And somebody pulled apart, what's that stupid project called? Nicely or Polite, the Polite Network, where they pulled that box apart for the Polite Network, and all of this is a 3D printed plastic box that has an ESP in it with a microphone and a light sensor, and they're charging what they charging, $400 or something like that. And of course, they come online saying, well, you know, we had to put a lot of research into this, and it's our custom algorithm that we put in it that makes it cost so much. But that's what it is. Look at it, $400. I'll be damn. I'll be got, you know, and in his videos, he says he's getting sick of that. He's getting sick of us. We're basically, they're making money off the devices itself. You know, where I look at it as, before somebody says it, Brusho is comparatively priced to the video I watched yesterday. Said the toothbrush he had, I don't know if it was Oral-B or Philips, he said his electric toothbrush costs more than what Brusho costs. Again, do I think Brusho is going to take over the world? No. One thing I found with it, I don't know if it's me or not, but I brushed my teeth for the video yesterday about 5 p.m. And when I went to go brush my teeth at 11:30 before I went to bed, 12 o'clock-ish, maybe 1 a.m., it wouldn't let me brush my teeth again. It didn't log it at all because I guess I had already brushed my teeth for that day. So, and then this morning, just like I told y'all was going to happen, this morning I'm running late for work, taking a shower in the morning, and I shave and brush my teeth, and I brush my teeth, and I'm like, wait a minute, I got my regular toothbrush. I don't have time to sit there and do 2 minutes in this section. I mean, or 30 seconds in this section and worry about what the app says. I'm taking my own toothbrush and I'm doing this while I'm also grabbing clothes out of my closet, because I oversleep every day. And I know it takes me 20 something minutes to get to work, and I don't have time to do anything extra. Let me look up this. Let me look up. Oh. DEPIN is dead. I'm telling you, take y'all time and go watch this video. And I'm not just saying because I'm friends with him. I'm not saying because I told y'all the dude helped me out. I'm not saying it because, you know, y'all think that he got hit in the head once too many times. I'm telling you, it makes sense. And with all of us being in, I'm gonna give you all this link, but I don't want y'all leaving me to go watch it. He's not wrong. We've all talked in some discords, and when I come up with some new DEPINs, y'all are like, are they just trying to make money off the project from, like, off the device? You know, I don't know. You know, and that's one thing I said, like when I got the WB200, I'm not saying this just because I'm a Wingbits fan. When I got a WB200, it felt solid. Now, of course, feeling solid and looking like it's secure and feeling like it's not a cheap hunk of plastic ain't going to prevent the LNA issues if it's an ESD issue, like the static issue, or holding the device by the antenna while the whole disc is here and screwing up the seals so that rain gets in. But it felt like a $300 or $400 device should. It felt solid. You're already paying $700 for a GeoNet device, so $1,000 for both of those combined, you're actually saving $100. I don't know. Boss show, get paid to change underwear. Don't give away no $1 million ideas, man. You're gonna be upset. For those of y'all who used to listen to the Walton and Johnson show, I know it was syndicated around the country, but they used to always have a segment called the $1 Million Idea, where they would throw these ideas out, and sure enough, somebody later come out with that actual idea and made, you know, $1 million off of it, and they're like, give away another $1 million idea. See, crypto bullcoin, that would be a project that I would not make a dime on. Because my wife every night goes to bed and tells me, try not to be too late. First of all, you wake me up when you come to bed at 1 a.m. And then you can't wake up in the morning to go to work. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to be too late. And sure enough, I have a timer on my watch and phone at 11:45. It dings and tells me it's night time. And I just mute that thing and keep on playing Xbox or working on especially on Monday. Monday, I'm probably editing that video, because I tell y'all, my Monday video 3 days ago was one of the longest videos ever made. and not that I want to, but the more projects you talk about, more projects y'all want me to talk about. The people who are saying, man, your video is too long on Mondays, is the same people saying, can you look at this project too? Somebody suggested, do I want to split that Monday video up from projects that go from, and I just think you're going to lose the timing on it, but, some people say, hey, since it's getting so long, why don't you just make a video on this on Monday, then on Tuesday, do a video on this, and then on Wednesday, you can do strictly this. Well, a lot of times, testnet doesn't have announcements. When's the last time you saw an announcement from 375 AI? In July, they said they were a couple of minutes away from mainnet in July. Haven't heard nothing since. So I think you would, not only that, but there's times I want to do videos on other things. So then on Tuesday, if I want to do a video on a new project, Brusho or Sleepo, but I'm due for this video, or people are going to just watch the Tuesday video and wonder why they didn't see any of this stuff. And then, well, what happened to entropy? You're not entropy no more. You're not talking about it. No, that's in the other video. I don't know. Yes, Elias, I still own a decent amount of WIF. I will tell you that I bought WIF when I announced it 2 Christmases ago. It was it 23 cents, whatever. Bought a decent amount of it, very good, decent amount of it. That's my first meme coin when I was calling meme coins, and sold at like $3 or $4. Made a good amount on it. I know somebody else in here did also, because they made so much. When I said, man, I'm thinking about getting a GeoNet station, if y'all remember that video, the dude sent me a GeoNet station. So I don't know what he made off WIF. He's like, man, Grumpy, I followed you on WIF. I liked it. I liked the people on X were talking about it. It was on Solana, and he bought WIF. He did not tell me how much he bought WIF, but I could tell you, homeboy sent me a freaking brand new GeoNet. I didn't want to take it first. He's like, man, no, you got to take this, I'm like, okay. That was my first GeoNet station. I sold a good chunk, put it into some other tokens and stuff. And then when I did my video back in April, not financial advice, my April of my 4 or 5 cryptos to go buy right now, let me rephrase that I would go buy right now, I loaded up on WIF again at 30 something cents. Told y'all, there's normally when people want me to talk about projects, I don't like talking about stuff unless I'm in it. Same thing with some of these cryptos and stuff, unless I'm in it. But you got people who say, you can't be like that. We want information on some of these other projects, and you're going to have to talk about them even if you're not in them. Just tell us you're not in them. So I am looking at that. I got contacted by somebody about, hey man, do a video on this. Just tell everybody up front you're not in this, but this is the information on it, and they can watch if they want to watch it. That's why I also put chapters and stuff. But yes, I still got a decent amount of WIF. I don't have as much as what I bought, back 2 Christmases ago when I used Santa's money to load up on WIF. Because if you remember, I also got into, like, every month I was calling meme coins. I don't know how I was finding them. I can't remember, but I called Big Red, and Big Red had a run. And then I said, 3-4 weeks later, like, guys, Big Red's going down. I'm taking profits. And then there was another one. It was, I don't know, guys, I can't remember. There was like 3 or 4 of them in a row that I called, and all 4 of them did very well. And I kind of watched, and I didn't feel comfortable. That's when they had more and more memes coming out, And I'm like, nah, I'm not calling them more. And we did what we did. Sidewinder. That is who did it. Sidewinder. I told him I would sell. My plan was to send him at least enough GeoNet to cover the cost of what it was at the very least. He's like, man, we'll discuss it later. Cool as shit, dude. Like I was, that's probably the first thing I really got from being a YouTuber that kind of legitimized and made me feel like all this was worth it, was when somebody said, man, I did very, very well. I can't, because my number one fear is, honestly, I can tell you all I want, do all the disclaimers and say, this is not financial advice. Don't follow me. Don't, this is what the projects I'm getting into. But honestly, I don't know most of y'all. Y'all could walk up next to me at the Superdome at a Saints game, and I wouldn't know who you are. Some of y'all probably wouldn't even know who I am. But I'm still the kind of guy, like, I don't want to hear about anybody losing money. I don't want somebody to follow me. You know, if I lose money, I've been in crypto since what, 2015, when it was only Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. Actually, when we started on Coinbase, it wasn't even those three. It was Bitcoin, and then it was Ethereum and Litecoin. And we used to have these huge arguments at work and online. Was Ethereum or Litecoin going to be number two? That's how early I've been in it. Look, I've lost money before. I've lost way a lot of money before. When I started doing day trading and was shorting stuff, and the first time you made $1,000 off $100, you're like, man, I'm taking vacation every day from work. It takes one trade to watch $2,000 or $3,000 because you started with 100. But let me tell you, you can start with 100. But when you lose $2,000 or $3,000 in a short, and you get liquidated because you get cocky, because it takes too long to go set your stop losses and your gains, and it takes too long to set that up because you're cocky. You had 3 or 4 of these. I was sitting there watching. I have my big TV. I had a TV table, the TV table here with 2 more monitors and my laptop, and I was day trading. I forget why I was off of work. It might have been COVID, the 7th time I got COVID. Dude, I was making a killing, $100. And then, of course, me, the $100 ain't out of my pocket. I just took helium or something and converted it, day traded it, shorted it, was looking for shorts and stuff like that, shorting, long, and leverage. Leverage, you do a little bit. I just did a little bit of leverage this time. Next time, a little bit of leverage. Next thing you're up a couple of $1,000s. You go put on Luna Classic and you make it, and you sell at the right time. And next thing you got $4,000 or $5,000. What do? A smart person will only put 1,000 in and keep the 4,000. Man, no way. I was too good for that. I'm on fire. You roll that back in there again, and then you go use the bathroom and come back. Next thing you know, they got this candle in the opposite direction. Zero. It hurts. I mean, you know, but I've lost money before. So me, if I lose money, hey, I've did it before. It's disgusting. I don't have money to waste these days, especially. But if I lose it, but if I know y'all are losing it, it hurts me like as if I lost it. And I just don't want to see that. Hopium coin. This should be. I guarantee you, there is a meme coin for everything. You name it, there is a meme coin for everything. Let's see. Which chain? That's how many Hopium tokens they got. Hopium. Hopium. No, not opium. Hopium. Let's see. Hopium. Hey man, when there's 2,000 plus memes made a day. Yes, there's a Hopium token. Let's see if there's a sleeper. There you go. Here's a $1 million idea for anybody who wants to throw 1 or 2 Solana at making their own meme coin on Pup Front. Sleepo, sitting there waiting for you. Nobody's did Sleepo yet. I always said I wanted to start a Grumpy token, but I watched many videos on how to make a meme token, and I just, is a grumpy cat. Your dad's still there waiting on me. But again, you know what, the number one reason I came very close. I had people lined up with me to do a Grumpy Dad token. If y'all remember that, about 18 months ago, maybe not 18 months, 12, 18 months ago, I had people lined up ready. You know why I didn't start the Grumpy Dad? Because that we had the images for it, an X account ready to go. You know why I didn't start it? Because if any of y'all would have got sniped by a bot and lost money, I would have never forgave myself. That's what I was worried about. I had friends that wanted to put up all kinds of money for liquidity from me, personal friends. And I'm like, guys, I can't do it. I cannot do it. Oh, come on, man. You know, even if we make 10%, we don't. The problem is I didn't know how any of that worked. And if anybody would have lost any money on that, I would have, I couldn't handle it. And then, right after that, then you have the Hawk Tour thing happen. Not right after that, but a couple months after. And you're like, I still believe that girl had nothing to do with that token. Somebody put meme token in her head. She don't understand crypto. The girl can't probably spell 2 + 2. And I still to this day believe she got conned into that, was told, not told any of that backdoor stuff. Basically was told, hey, you're going to make a meme token with your face. We're going to give you these tokens. Her tokens were locked away for like 3 years. And it ruined her. And I still think to this day, that girl had no idea on how any of that worked. She got taken advantage of. And then what we talked in the live like 2 weeks ago, that somebody else another celebrity got meme token, and same thing. The same exact thing happened. It got sniped. The investors got all their tokens unlocked at TGE or whatever it was. It lost everybody's money. And then who do they blame it? They blame the celebrity. No, I blame y'all idiots, because if y'all didn't learn the first 3 times that celebrities came out with tokens and got that happened, why would you go believe the 4th one? If you want to go put your life savings, I spent my house note on Hawk Tour tokens. Look who you putting that into. I know I'm getting way off the rails here, guys, and I'm sorry. I'm just trying to say is I've had people every now and then who've been with me for a long time ask me, hey man, whatever happened to you doing that meme token? Hawk Tour. Not that I would ever align myself with people that would happen to. I wouldn't go in with investors that got tokens and stupid. It'd be a fair launch type thing. But either way, you know how these bots are, which I don't know how the bots are, but I just couldn't handle that. Couldn't handle it. Crypto bullcoin, you can say that and you can scream it from the mountaintops. Some of these human beings, some of these simps, some of these, whatever you want to call them, will never take responsibility for that. You can't tell me you didn't have some guy, or these days a girl, in mama's basement, infatuated with this girl, who thought if they took their $10,000 life savings and put in this token, that this girl would meet him, date him, find out somehow they did it, and fall in love with him, or something to that effect. You can't tell me that that's not what happened to a point. Why else? Why else would people put into that token? Simps are going to simp, man. Boardzilla made a live with her and the crew involved, and she seemed like she was in denial. That was the live the night it launched. Because I remember she came online and, she had this prepared thing like, look, guys, it looks like we got sniped by some bots, but we're going to recover. That. And then they got basically called out. Everything was found on the chain, whatever like that. And she'd said a couple of things and she's like, all right, guys, I'm going to bed. Night. That right there told me she had no idea what the shit was going on. No idea. To this day, I still say she had no idea. Is that an excuse and she should not be responsible? I'm not directly saying that, because sometimes you're involved in crimes, and even though you really didn't have nothing to do with the planning, you're still kind of involved and guilty, because it still happened. Crypto, well, you know what? Y'all know what? Let's see if I can find this real quick. Just give me 2 seconds. It's time to pull up Grumpy's Rules of Crypto. Rule number 11. I should call this the Hawk Tour, but I've been saying this way before Hawk Tour. People want crypto to be decentralized until decentralized things happen. You can't say you don't want no laws or anything around crypto, and then when something like that happens, say, I want laws to do something about crypto. One or the other. Blockchains are getting hacked or something like that, and they stop their chain to stop the hack. Half the people are like, well, I'm glad they stopped that chain, because if not, we all could have got our stuff stolen. And you got the other half saying, well, technically that means they're centralized. They should allow. Really? You want everybody to lose their money? That's one thing I still don't understand about people in crypto, is that, but we can say that about a lot of things. Hawk 2 is not smart enough to manage her own project, even if she was Odin, I 10,000% agree with that. I don't think that girl knows what a crypto wallet is. I bet she has no idea the crypto tokens that she was given for this that she has a 3-year vesting or 3-year lock on, she probably even know where the hell they're at. Or if she knows where they're at, if they're on a thumb drive for cold storage or on a Exodus wallet or MetaMask wallet or whatever, she probably don't even know how to get them out, how to exchange them for real money. Guarantee it. That girl don't know nothing. That's why she got famous. Being drunk in Nashville, talking about hot tooing on somebody. And about Poogie or Pokey or Pookie or whatever his name is, who broke up with her. The girl's as skinny as a stick. I need somebody with a little more meat on them. Grumpy's 11 Commandments. I'm sure I'll come up with another one sooner or later. See, I call number 8 the helium. See, some of these rules have, like, some of my rules at work have somebody's name on them, but I just can't use them here. You know, number 8 is the helium rule. It's not number 8, it's the helium rule. Number 9 is the demo rule. Number 11, 10 is just the grumpy rule because people say I'm always negative, but no, that's why. And number 11 is the Haktua rule. See? That makes it easier to remember. They're on computer. I don't believe they made it. I agree with you. Who was it that Yeezy or somebody like that had the token 2-3 weeks ago that the same thing happened to? I don't know. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave. I appreciate it. Choose the big hook lawn scene. I completely agree, Lars. Complete. Did any of the reptilians and did any of the reptilians NFT? I don't. I'm gonna tell you something. I know this might be my age talking. I don't want y'all to go unsubscribe. I know some of y'all, some of y'all are so passionate about some of y'all projects that it's blasphemy if I say anything negative. I'm not an NFT guy. I never saw the intrigue in it. One of the videos I watched today talked about how if you got into apes and stuff in the last cycle with the NFTs and all stuff like that, and depending on which one you had, you made all this money. To me, NFTs are pigeonholed to that project where like Solana and some of them you can, it's got many projects behind it. I just didn't see that. I never got an NFT until like the junk coin entropy type things where you had to do that to get into the project or for the bonuses and stuff. And that's basically the only reason why I got those. So I've not really been into or whales, because we got a whale before we even, because we didn't get the NFT, we just got the tokens. So I haven't really been an NFT guy. I'm sure I missed out on, there's this. And some people are going to be only NFTs. I got a buddy that played fantasy football with, even though he was in crypto when we had our draft last Sunday, and told me dude's got all kinds of NFTs. I got that other buddy, if y'all remember me telling y'all about 6 months ago, he has a son about 22, 23 years old, and the dude knows AI tokens and making a killing off of them. I offered and I told y'all I was going to bring him on once a week, once a month. If any of y'all have ever watched WWE, there used to be a dude named Elijah with the long hair, and they used to say "Walk with Elijah." Well, this dude's name's Elijah, so I was going to name my segment "Walking with Elijah," or "Walking AI with Elijah," or something stupid like that. But I knew half of y'all don't know Elijah with wrestling, so the joke would have went over y'all head. But I was going to bring him in, do a segment with him, whether you want to call it the AMA or whatever you want to call it, a Tuesday segment or Thursday. No, I can't do Thursday. Wednesday segment of AI tokens. The dude knows AI. He tells me the tokens, I ignore him. Then sure enough, the AI token goes up. It is what it is. Check your wallets to have your ENT NFTs. Well, let's do that. Still trying to decide if I want to sell my junk coin token. I'm kind of intrigued on the pool I know that I lost my butt off doing that pool on junk coin. But somebody said I put way too much in, that I have to be right over first place to be able to make, which I think is just goofy. You shouldn't have to babysit it like that. But anyway, so I want to try it one time where I'm just putting in just enough that I stay above first place, to see if you really do make, even though I have 50% boost on junk coin. And if I can't make a decent amount of profit off of it, I want to dump my NFTs for junk coin. I don't see anything. This is my Entropy NFTs. I got the Phantasmo, whatever they called, Entropy Acolytes, Bonsai. Somebody must have sent me that. That's cool. And another Bonsai, a Liquid Dragon. Oh, that might be the Bruce Lee thing. I don't know. Dash Minka was something that somebody sent me because they thought it was part of something. This and In Veins, whatever the hell this is. That's what I got in my Entropy wallets. So, oh, what else? Anything else I missed, guys? Oh, it was random. 10,000 miles got them. I got 2. Oh, let's check. I got 7 Entropy wallets. Let's see. Entropy Extra. I got this is new. I got an unknown collectible. No idea what that is. Nope, doesn't look like I got that, man. Nope. No, sir. Because I wasn't part of the 10,000. Let's see. Make sure. So somebody was going crazy with the junk coin. I don't know how many of y'all are still in that. But that has gone up significantly. Is this the right junk coin? Nope, that was not the right junk coin. We got excited for no reason. That goes to show you, like, that's how crazy it is. That wasn't the right junk coin. This is the right junk coin. And when I saw those transactions, that shows you how crazy it is. Let's go back to the other one. So this is junk Barcelona with 1,700 transactions. I knew that wasn't right. This is the proper junk that we're in, of course, with 4 transactions. Woo, man. 0.00005. 0.004. See, this was a big jump. I was about to get off live right now and go sell all my junk. that quick. But nope. I've had nobody answer any of my inquiries about Irwin. Irwin has not had anything going on. $300 in liquidity. They actually had 3 transactions, 2 buys for 33 cents and 75 cents, and a sell. So the guy who's unless this is a market or some kind of money-making thing. The same wallet that sold $4 bought 75 cents later. 75 cents later. But still can't claim. When I did claim in July, for those who haven't been following my videos, I made a claim every Monday in July that said it was successful. None of those tokens hit my wallet. I haven't had any tokens hit my wallet since June. I've inquired on it. I haven't heard anything back. Basically, they were looking into it. That was in July. Haven't heard anything. Now, when you try to claim, it fails. I guess there's not enough money or liquidity. They're talking about still trying to sell NFTs for this. Ha, ha, ha. Boy, I'm not joking. Like, you buy an NFT to get in this project, you deserve Haktua. 3-bit exporter. You know, this is going to also show that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. For the longest time, I thought the BitX solo miners was basically the same thing one of y'all told me about with an ESP32, where you can solo mine on that. And for the longest time, I thought that that's what that was. But from what I understand, know that the BitX actually has a little more horsepower to it, but it's still the same random chances for $100 more. And I'm sad to say that one of y'all told me about solo mining with the ESP32. I hooked it up. I didn't really do a video on it because it's the first time I was ever doing it. I set it up, went online. I saw the pool it was set up to and everything. 3 or 4 days later, I'm just doing some random, my computer started running kind of slow. So I do the whole, let me go delete all my history, my cache and all the stuff like that. And I have no idea how to get to any of it. I could have solo mined a Bitcoin for all I know, which I doubt. But I don't remember even how, I can't even find the instructions I used to get to the solo miner, which also had a link to try this pool with it. I can't, but it's still solo mining back there. But, you know, you have a better chance, I've always said, of meeting Dolly Parton at, you know, or Pamela Anderson back in her prime, or Jenny McCarthy back in the prime. You know, I'm a 90s, 80s and 90s kid, but you know what I'm saying? You know, or the girl wearing the jeans. You have a better chance of meeting her in the grocery store while lightning strikes you than you do. You probably have a better chance of winning a lottery than you do a solo miner. But hey, it just takes once. BitHack versus hardware, ESP32 software, and tiny hash rate. Yep. Okay. What does the professor at Entropy say? How do you see it play out? Y'all know I'm honest with y'all. I hate when y'all ask me questions. I don't like to lie. And that's why I feel like I don't have more partnerships than some of these other YouTubers. Why I don't have more free stuff to try out and do videos on, because I'm too honest. And I think it takes one of them to watch one of my videos and say, we can't send him this new hemorrhoid cream, because the dude's going to be honest what he thinks about it. We want people to do videos that be like, this is the best hemorrhoid cream that you can get sats for in Bitcoin for. And I'm not built like that. That's why, like, when I say I like the freaking brush show thing, y'all know that I'm being honest. Because if I didn't promise them I was doing a positive video. I didn't promise them I was even doing a video. I just asked for it. They sent it to me. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I am not slightly, positively, extremely disappointed at where we are today with the rewards. Part of me, like I said earlier, part of me feels a little bad because I did a lot of videos telling people, and look, and I had proof. I still had the proof. We were making $10 a day. We were making $20 a day. We were making $8 a day. And, you know, I know the whole saying, hashtag nothing. Technically, you're making nothing. Technically, you're being part of a cool project. I still say, you know, almost of all my projects I'm in, they have the best community in the world. They're cool to hang out with online or in the private X group we got. I know the professor is not just resting on where he's at now. I know he's not saying, okay, we sold some Astros, now whatever happens, happens. I know that's not happening. I know he's behind the scenes. Him and his brothers are behind the scenes doing more networking. They're still going to these conferences. They're still pushing entropy. They just open up their own store so they don't have to deal with helium deploy as far as selling ashlers. Now they're selling them themselves. They can deal with it themselves. Some people say that you don't want to do hardware stuff yourself because it's a headache. They'll find that out. But to them, they can control the inventory. They can sell it. They can give it discounts, and they control it. This is entropy A. There's supposedly at some point going to be an entropy B. At some point, even though we've never been directly told this, but I know I have mentioned that many other people mentioned that at some point, whether this goes on the CEX, whether this goes on a much bigger DEXs or whatever, or the liquidity is a lot more, but at some point, people are going to have to be able to sell. You can't expect people to keep mining something for 5 years and never sell, and then punish them if they sell. It's crypto. Despite if that's the whole shtick of the project, you have to expect people to sell. At some point, people are going to have so much entropy, they're going to say, you know what, if I get booted, screw it. I bought a $150 NFT at the time, or hey, I minted my own NFT out of the stuff I made. So really, I'm only out of the Ashler for $140, and I'm making $1,000. I don't care if I get booted out the project, because that's what some people do. Yeah, I promise, Boy Scout honor, I promise I'm not selling my entropy. Then you get $1,000 worth of entropy, and you got in with an ESP32 that cost you $18 or $6 or whatever they cost at the time. Peace out. I'll take my $1,000 and roll out. That's what some people are saying. I haven't. I've sold a little bit of entropy, but I bought entropy at the dips, went a little bit overboard because I was using the same wallet. That's why I tell people to use different wallets. If that answers your question, it's disappointing that even though we have these rules, you still have people that somehow can still sell the way they do. Here you got, but see, a lot of this stuff, anything with this maker D on the end of it, that is a robot to induce selling and buying. See this maker that has D on the end of it, D. I mean, you look at how much they sold, how much they bought, how much they sold, how much they bought. That's just a bot that they got to get transactions and to get stuff going on. And when you actually, because I was wondering, like, maybe they're skimming. Let me rephrase that. Somebody contacted me and said, do we think this bot is skimming? And no. Actually, when you look at it, it's bought more than it's sold, or sold more than it bought, or whatever. Either way, it's in the red. But when you look at the wallet, at least when I did the other day, it could be different now, but when I looked at it the other day, it didn't have hardly any entropy tokens in it because it's moving the tokens. But either way, my point is, this downward action is not because of this bot. The bot buys and sells as it's supposed to. This is people selling. But you have people that don't know the rules. Even though I did videos that said, before you buy Ashler, please watch this video. And it said, if you sell, the G to delete is going to boot, especially if you get this device and you come home and you think it's all sexy and cute, and then you go and you hook it up, and after 2 weeks you make $50 and you sell, and next thing you know, you booted out the project. What the hell? I didn't know. Because majority of people buy crypto projects, make a little bit of money, and some of y'all can't handle the fact that y'all got $20 sitting in the wallet, and y'all have to hurry up and sell. Oh my God. I know that's a very long-winded answer, but I feel like that's just my honest answer. Is even though he's never told me anything direct, all he keeps telling me and the other people I ask is that we're only on the 10-yard line and we still have 90 yards to go on the field. That this is just the beginning, and there are a lot more long-term plans. You're going to see a lot more collaborations with projects, joining projects, and a lot more of that aspect to it. We just have to be patient. But let's be honest, 95% of us in crypto ain't patient. NFTs are too expensive still. I need like 8 Solana to turn all my Ashlers back on. I think that is, listen, we being honest here. I think that is the number one thing. If there's anything that's going to hinder this project at this point, is it's going to take you, especially with the price of what Solana is right now. An NFT is, man, now my head's on the wrong side again. And with OBS, I have to sit there and pull the screen back to the other side. That's the only place you're allowed to edit it. All right, let's try this again. So the cheapest, last time I looked, NFT was 1.6 Solana. $342. 1.8 is $384. Basically 1.6 something is your cheapest one right now. Somebody just bought an ape. Oh, y'all can't see it. So I gotta go over here and shrink the screen a little bit. Somebody bought an ape for 3 Solana. What's the last snake? 2.6 Solana. See, I still have a snake. And if you want the trifecta, somebody needs to buy my snake. And I've been holding out. I wish I would have sold it in the beginning when all the hype was going on. But y'all know me. I hold on stuff way too long. But let me see what the next snake is. Three point three Solana. $705. Now that's not saying nobody's gonna buy, because who would buy this? Who would buy who would buy that, you know, unless you're into the NFTs. But who's gonna buy that? Because on top of the $300 NFT, you still got to buy the 160. So you $460 in the hole right now for a project paying out $1.50 a day. $306 days ROI. Now, one thing you have to say is that this token's volatile. It takes nothing for it to get back up to 0.008 again. You know, 2 weeks ago, it was at 0.0082. 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, it was at 0.0086. And then up here, 4 weeks ago, 4 or 5 weeks ago, it almost ate a zero. You go back to this pricing where we're making way more. You know, it's, I don't know, you know. One thing I also, this is just me, I've voiced my opinion before, but for those who don't realize it, there's also a tithe that you pay. They call it a tithe. It's a tax. When you withdraw every week, was it 1.2 or 2.3% go to the community fund or something like that to pay the bills for the service like that? Like, that's why they say miners eat first. You get your rewards first. Other than like other projects where the other projects take the fees and stuff, you're getting it into for you first, and then when you claim it, you're claiming the 2 point something percent. Well, they're taking the 2 point something, but a lot of y'all don't know. And if you look at the announcements, it's on there. You just have to backtrack. But there's also like a 10% tithe. And for those who don't know what a tithe is, basically it's another tax. And it was a HIP that they passed. I call it a HIP because I'm just helium based, but EIP that they passed back 6-7 months ago, where an additional 10% will be taxed to go into a fund that they would use for these cross projects that they do, where, you know, they would give some entropy to, kind of like sometimes y'all get some different tokens from different projects into your wallet. Well, this would start a fund to put tokens in other projects, and for basically linking up with other projects. And back when we were making $25 a day, we were like, yeah, man, no problem. I understand that. And hey, you're passing it on to these other Solana projects. That's getting the enthusiasm. And it did. It brought people in, and it worked. But now that you're making $1.50 a day, and there's no telling how many tokens are now in that 10% fund, because think about it, every miner is paying 10% every time you claim. I personally think we need to back off of that. Drop it to 5%. But hey, I don't run the project. Oh, you can get the NFTs cheap when the wallet scammers dump them. I have a guy that's contacting me right now that is on Entropy, that's on Discord, who the poor dude got his wallet cleaned out twice. Now he got cleaned out. He panics, buys Entropy, puts it back in his wallet so he don't get in touch with Jeter Deleter, and they clean him out again. I told him the first thing and then he was told, not by the project, but by somebody else, man, you're stuck. Your ass was tied to this one wallet. Well, that's not true. Because I've seen people who this has happened to, and the Entropy guys, through the kindness of their heart, have worked with them and gotten their wallet swapped. It's not easy, because I had to help Mr. Glenn with it, with Entropy. Guys, it was pain in the butt. It didn't work at first, but eventually we got it done. So, and I told this guy, you have to get, I wouldn't, and whether or not he's listening to me or not, it's on him. But I told him I would not trust anything in that Phantom wallet no more. He says, oh, that was only my one account that was compromised. I don't care. Anything that's in that 12 words, I would move everything out. I would create a new Phantom with new 12 words. That's why I have to keep a spreadsheet, because I learned from Mr. Glenn. They got into one of his wallets, and they were able to keep, all you got to do is keep adding accounts, and then new coins would show up. Because that's what happens when you put your 12 words from Phantom into a new computer or a new device. That's how you get all your different accounts. Is you just keep pressing add account, and it pulls it in from the other ones. So what did I do? I started making multiple Phantoms with multiple new 12 words. It took a cheat sheet, a treat sheet to be able to keep up with it. But now I got these 4 or 5 projects on Phantom with this 12 word combination. I got 3 or 4 into this one. My Wingbits one, I even split it up, just so I don't get screwed. I got some of my stations going to this wallet with this 12 words and this. And that's how paranoid I am now from watching the stuff that y'all went through. It's crazy. People are getting right. But how? Milkman, you tell me how. How many more times do me and all these other YouTubers have to keep telling people? How many times do people have to tell them on Discord? Nobody is texting you for your 12-word password. Nobody's sending you a DM. Look, I'm banging on my desk. My wife's going to know why I'm getting pissy. Because I just told you how I feel when I see people. If I think I led you down a road that people got scammed, like, I hate scammers. Hell is too good of a place for anybody who scams. When I get a scammer who calls me up at 9 a.m. every day and at 5 p.m. every day on clockwork, I get 3 scam phone calls every time. Back to back to back. Back to back. I either don't answer them and then I block the phone number, or if I answer them, I have to go wash my mouth out with holy water after. God bless me. Because I tell them, and I curse them the hell out. Do people really fall for this stupid? I hope you burn in hell. And some other choice words too. Then they get all pissy with you. God forbid if it really is my bank calling me because there's something wrong with my checking account. But either way, I'll take the chance. But my point is, what more do we need to do? If you're in any Discord, they tell you, and mine pops up once a day. It says, nobody's DMing you first. We would sit there for fun. We called it fishing, when I couldn't get out the house to go fishing, and go in different Discords. I'd go into I was doing a video, and I'd go into like Demo and say, I'm having trouble getting into my wallet. Who can help me? Dude, it's like fishing with The best bait in the world. You get DM after DM after DM. We're from the tech support team. We're from the tech support team. We're from the tech support team. Ban, ban, ban. I don't understand how this keeps happening. Whether it's new people in crypto or what, nobody's asking you for your 12-word password. How many more videos do we have to do on it? How many more Twitter tweets, X's tweets, and Discord announcements and all that? Like, I feel horrible for these people, but there's a part of me, and this is where I'm a little evil and grumpy. There's a small little part of me that doesn't feel sorry for them because, like, how did you not know? Oh man, you know, the way they were talking to me and with the nomenclature and the stuff they were talking about really made it seem genuine with that they were from the project. Did they DM you first? Then they're not with the project. There's no tech support, because that's what half the time they call tech support. Tech support is not DMing you. Stop. Every project has a ticket thing on the bottom for you to open a ticket up, or some like Wingbits, you have to go to their website and create a ticket through the chat. You're not DMing them and they're not DMing you. Come on, guys. Yo, I'm making my blood pressure go up. Let me get my blood pressure cuff out. I'll get my daughter to make me a drink. I'm just trying to help y'all out. I don't want to see nobody get scammed no more. Milkman, I understand that, and listen, it's easy for me to say what I'm about to say, but I have a much smaller in Discord than what other people do. What I find is in my Discord, and look, I don't know nothing about Discord. Like I had Eric and them help me a lot. Divaslina helped me set a lot of this up. But anyway, when we added a bot, and even Axie from Wingbits helped me a little bit too. When we added the bot part of it, where you get entered, no matter if somebody sends you an invite or you come in yourself, y'all have to agree to rules, and then there's a verify button. You'd be surprised how many of these bots can't do those two functions. It's weird. Excuse me. They can go and agree to rules somehow, but by adding that extra step that they have to verify, they can't do it for some reason. The AI won't allow it. I don't know why. When I had to go swap to a new rule that said if you don't verify within like the same day or within 24 hours, I'm booting you out the Discord. You can join again. But what happens, I find, is when people start telling me that grumpy that's misspelled, or SJSO, which was my original Discord, that's what it's, if you look under my grumpy name, it says SJSO. It's SJJSO or SJS0. When they start getting those type of scam DMs, where people say, even though it says I will not DM first, these idiots are keeping the part that says I will not DM first, and they're DMing these people first. But what I find is when I go look at my member list, it's all ranked by when you entered. I start seeing certain members that did not verify. And when I stay on top of it almost every day, and I delete the people that did not verify, it's funny how I don't get nobody telling me people getting scammed. So apparently if you don't verify, you can still see the members list and still spot people, I guess. Or the people can still, I don't know, the spotters can't see it for some reason. But as long as I normally stay on top of that verification thing, the crazy DM stop. Let me tell you, every day I get a text from exchanges I don't even use. But, you know, I have an email in this description right here. That one gets hit. Not as bad as my original Hotmail one. But I'm telling you now, I get a text every day from Coinbase. Here is the code for your transaction. Well, first of all, I don't keep nothing in Coinbase. I don't keep nothing in KuCoin or anything else. All my exchanges, all my crypto, when I buy, I DCA every payday. Tomorrow's payday, I'll be buying 4 or 5 different tokens. Like I do DCA. I buy from I buy from Coinbase, and I immediately move it to a wallet. Exodus or something, MetaMask, something like that. So when I get these texts that say, this is your code that you requested to move your funds. If you didn't do this, call this number immediately or press this link. I just report it as junk because I didn't. But I tell you right now, I get them every day. Every day. And I normally delete. Here it is right here. Look. First of all, the phone number is from +63 number, wherever it is. Your Coinbase withdrawal code is 657386. Please don't share this code with anyone. If you didn't request this, please call 1-888-52 with this reference number. Every day. Every day. And then I go and I press report junk, delete report junk, and guess what? Tomorrow, I'll get it again. Hot singles in my area. That's great. If I ever get divorced, I'll ask the bot to take care of that for me. That's spectacular. Single minors. Let me tell you, I almost got caught up with it years ago. Back in the early helium days, I'm just discovering Discord. I didn't realize all this. One of my helium miners would not connect. Whoever the maker was, because I've had about every maker, it's Rock Pie. I can tell you right now it's Rock Pie. Because Rock Pies, I bought 4 or 5 Rock Pies. None of them ever worked right. None of them. They would not witness or beacon or something. All of them. And I'm telling you, I got Nebra tech support DM me all the time, which we know it wasn't now, but they look legit and I didn't know better. But they would say, well, what type of Rock Pie is it? What's the miner name? And I give them the miner name. Okay, well, we can't access it. Can you please give us your 12 words? And then I would ask somebody in the chat. They asked me about 12 words. Oh, no, that's BS. That's scam. But I almost got caught because I didn't know better. It looked like Nebra trying to help me with a Rock Pie. That's how long this has been going on for. To me, you can't tell me Discord, there's not an easy way or a better way for Discord to somehow police this. I don't know. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it's almost 9 o'clock. I appreciate everybody that has come along for the ride. 20 people. I'll take it. I don't know if there's anything else going on that we need to discuss. Bitcoin's at 111,000. Solana's up 4% to $214, still going up. I don't really see anything else. Let me see. Poor Daniel. Y'all know I help Daniel out all the time in Africa. One of the first stations in Africa, doing absolutely well. Despite that, people still don't want to listen to my antenna recommendations. That's why I really don't even want to recommend antennas no more, because I'm just, not that they're arguing, but they just question. I'm like, have y'all not seen my videos I did in the last 4 years on the 5.5 Wingbits antenna? But Daniel became a top 10 station by swapping his antenna from the cheap one he bought from somewhere to the 5.5 Amazon one that I tell everybody to get. He's a top 10 station. He's asking about the 29th. Has everybody not seen the 29th rewards populate? They're like, dude, that's in the future. Homeboy can tell us tomorrow what the stocks are going to do so we can go and bet on them now. Daniel's cool as hell, though, dude. He really is. I try to keep up with the Wingbit stuff too, man. Try to help people out. But look, that's such a good Discord. They got plenty of people now in there to help out. I used to help out a lot before. 619, 120. These other guys all were helping out. And there's enough guys now there that I don't have to hang around as much anymore. And look, there's guys that know much more than me. There are some guys in there that know too much about RF that come in there asking loaded questions and stuff. But I think this is gonna be big things, man. Big things. I have a lot of faith in Wingbits. That's all I can say. So, yep. Y'all don't go click on those single miners. They're probably full of viruses. All right. I'm gonna make me a drink, and I'm gonna work on something. I gotta find a power cord for one of my cellular modems. One I'm setting up over the weekend. That's what I gotta go find. I know it's in here somewhere. One in my junk box when I told my wife, don't throw these cords away because I guarantee I'm going to need them again one day. That one day has come, guys. And God knows I will not find it. I'm going to have to still go buy one. And then I'll find it the next day. But thank y'all. Hope y'all have a great weekend. We're supposed to be getting a lot of rain here. Saturday's supposed to be going to hunting camp to do one of our final work days. I kind of hope it's raining a little bit. I'd rather deal with rain than 100-degree temperature with 119-degree heat index. My son's supposed to be coming home this weekend. I'm excited about that. Then he's gonna leave again. I'm gonna get all screwed up again. So he was supposed to be at his first college football game tonight. He had tailgating set up. The company that he's in construction management, and a bunch of contractors set up this big tailgate thing so they can meet all these kids. I say kids, these are grown men. I mean, 18, 19, 20 years old, but the kids in the construction management degree program. It's a way to them mingle and meet with some of them and stuff like that. They had all that planned tonight for the first college game, and because they were playing Thursday night football in college, and horrible storms, and it got rained out. So I felt bad for him for that. I know he was looking forward to it, but yeah, man. But he'll be coming down this weekend, and I'm sure by the time Sunday comes, he'll be down for Labor Day weekend, but I'm sure by the time the weekend's over with, my wife's going to be like, okay, man, well, it's time for you to get, them two get together. It's funny. Moms and teenage boys get together. They go together like oil and water. And then they both miss each other so much they got to call each other constantly. Funny how those things are. It's still raining up there. True. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate it. Thank y'all. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. And, don't forget, Brush Show tomorrow, 12 noon Central Time, whatever that is for you. Helium deploy with the code if y'all want it. Brush Show make $1 a day. My rough guesstimate. It was something else that they wanted me to. Somebody else asked me about a video for something. I meant to ask y'all about it, but I can't remember what it is. Too long a day. 9 o'clock. We've been in 2 hours. See y'all later. Next video.